As if the MCU wasn't expanding enough, but we have got a new segment. But is it that worth it? Hello everyone and welcome back to AustinPlus commentary, where today we are talking about a new segment that has been added to the Marvel Studios production known as Marvel Animation. Recently, last month in January, Marvel Animation released their first original show called Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and it is sort of doing well. But I have a couple opinions, both positive and negative, and just thought we'd look over it and see what else is coming to Marvel Animation. So first of all, you might actually not know this, but What If Season 3 is actually technically a part of Marvel Animation, which also does entice the whole of the What If show. I don't understand why they've only said Season 3, because Marvel Animation was officially announced as a new segment around about October time, which was before when What If Season 3 was announced. And during the trailer segment, which was basically about all of the new stuff that was coming, Marvel Animation, and I think you've also got Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, Marvel Specials. All of these were broken up into little segments in this said trailer. So you got stuff like Daredevil, Born Again, but we also saw Marvel Animation, in which we got the release date confirmed for this new Spider-Man show. But we also got a little sneak peek to What If Season 3. Because What If Season 2 and Season 1 had obviously released before Marvel Animation was an official segment, it is the only technical season a part of Marvel Animation. But if you really think about it, What If as a whole is a part of Marvel Animation. To be fair, Season 3 was the better season of the whole thing, because I would say that Marvel Animation I think they've definitely got some new writers and new producers in terms of What If Season 3, but it was a very good conclusion. The new villains, the new abstract characters, the new combination characters, but all of this is actually a build up to an upcoming show, which I'll get onto a bit later. But What If Season 3 and the whole What If show for a whole is actually to do a lot with the multiverse, obviously. But it is very important to Marvel Studios and the whole universe. It is not just for entertainment purposes and just to introduce a whole new audience and a very niche audience. Even some of the reviews show that there was a very good season. You got consistent stars, and it shows. A lot of these do say that it was very important and it was very creative, and I do think that is the one reason this show did really well, is because it introduced a lot of creativity and new possibilities. So we've got we've got one bad one that I've seen so far. Okay, this guy really went ham. Okay. This is another bad one. Overall, the concept of making unspoken stories as unused and ideas is great, but this is the last great thing about this show. Okay. Many people would disagree, but okay. This was the most disappointing piece of Marvel media since Iron Man 2. A lazily strung together attempt at crafting a continuous plot of minimum connectivity tissue formed together by creation of a robotic villain who... Oh my god. I mean, they are 30-minute long episodes. They're not that bad. Jeez. Calm. But yeah, most of these are pretty good. I mean, the further you down, the more negative you'll find. But most of them are very good. Mainly because it has a lot to do with the creativity and the potentials of the multiverse. And I think that's what a lot of people are missing out with this said show. I mean, overall, What If Season 3 did do a really good job at setting up Marvel Animation, and obviously that was at the end of 2024. I watched What If Season 3. It took me about 3 months to watch What If Season 2, because there were so many other things that were introduced at that said time. But What If Season 3 was the best at introducing Marvel Animation, because it introduced the multiverse kind of thing, but in a different way. I mean, you kind of have that whole thing with in across the Spider-Verse, you have different realities that are in different animation sources. You have the Lego, you have the Venomverse, and then you also have like an animated one, so they're very different. And I think that's the kind of thing they can sort of get away with. But personally, the recent release of the new Spider-Man show, The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I think is purely for entertainment purposes. There is no sort of multiversal validity. There is no multiverse validity or multiverse like anything. It is purely for entertainment, and it is for those people, I think, that read the comics and like really enjoy that really old animation, and it's the way it is animated is like it came straight out of a comic. I think that's why a load of people like it. Personally, I thought it was so easy watching, and I thought it was one of those things that is it is great for people that are a bit older, grew up with the comics, and they're so easy, like as I said, they're so easy watching, and they're like less than half an hour long. Same with What If. I think most Marvel animation projects will be less than half an hour, because that is the likelihood of most people going to watch them. But Marvel animation, with the likes of The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, that is an entertainment scheme to introduce a new niche audience. I mean, it's doing really well. It is doing very well, and I think the way they've released it in like really short increments is very good. So they've got like 2 episodes one week, 2 episodes the next, yada yada yada. But that's what also But that is also what If Season 3 did, and Season 2. They, like, over a course of a couple days, they introduced new episodes, and it was, like, all done before Christmas. So it's really, it works in, like, a pattern. And that's what I think Marvel Animation are going to aim to do from now on. I mean, and it's not a bad idea. If you're doing it for, like, because most people that like will watch it are probably coming home from work and they want something easy to watching before they go to bed. I mean, my parents do that. I sometimes do that. I think The Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is a very good thing to do for that. These are just some of your Friendly Neighborhood like Spider-Man reviews, and one of them was, I think this is great because it is the top one, is give the show a chance. I don't think people really understand the point of this show, and that's understandable. I absolutely love the nostalgic yet modern approach that they've taken with this show. Yes, absolutely. It feels like I'm watching what Stan Lee might have created if Spider-Man were in today's world. Yeah, to be fair, what they've done is they've still got like Stan Lee's ideology when it comes to making Marvel characters, but it is very modern. I do think the animation is very modern, and it's not like Looney Tunes or your typical like Disney villains. It's not like that. It's very modern, and it is very Stan Lee and comical, and I think that's why I actually really agree with that sentence. Stan Lee would have made this perfectly if he was still alive today. Stan Lee would have made this the way it is, because it's his take on Spider-Man, but it's also the modernization of it all, while still capturing the original charm and spirit of the Silver Age Amazing Spider-Man comics. As someone whose favorite fictional character of all time is Spider-Man, to be fair, that's basically for everyone, I couldn't be happier with what they've done so far. The first 2 episodes have been a blast so far, and I can't wait to see what's next. Well done, Marvel. Here's to hoping for multiple seasons. I do think this thing will go on for multiple seasons, because you've got so many characters, you've got so many villains, and you've got so many stories. This can go the length. That is why I think this is perfect for the likes of Marvel Animation, and it's very neat. As I said, I'm going to say this a lot, it's very niche, and it's for those people that enjoy those Silver Age comics. One thing I'll say, I've just quickly taken a glimpse at this when they talk about Doctor Strange in that first fight. Yeah, the way that he gets the powers of Spider-Man, I'm not fond of, but I quickly looked past that when I saw the amount of other characters. Now, one thing people have been asking is how impactful are these stories? Answer, not at all. They are not impactful in any way, shape, or form. They are, to the MCU, they are not impactful. Like, to the main storyline, nothing. Maybe What If, maybe, because some of that might come to live action, but if you're talking about Spider-Man, no, it's not going to be impactful one bit whatsoever. I think Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is going to be very good for those who are like diehard Marvel fans. That's probably explains why I really liked it. But I think that's why it works really well, because it's not got a set story and it's not got a set link. That's one thing I don't think the MCU have quite caught on yet. With the likes of the movies and shows that are releasing this year, like Captain America 4, like Thunderbolts, those two might have a bit of a link. Fantastic Four does not have a link to anything else. It will have a link to Avengers Doomsday, but that's in another year. I think having those tiny little links are good. They're a very good idea. But then you also have the shows. Daredevil Born Again doesn't really have a link with anything except for Spider-Man 4, which is, as I said, releasing next year. Yes, they are making us wait, but the thing is, this whole agency, conspiracy, presidential stuff is all happening this year. And I think it's because they're trying to get that niche market out of the way as well. Because not many people are gonna want to go and see Captain America 4. I completely understand that. And the same goes for Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts recently had a big GameSpot trailer. The link will be below. And people are absolutely slating it. It is because they're going way too quick. But the likes of Marvel Animation, going quickly is actually probably going to work out better for them, because they'll get more fanship, they'll get more viewership, and they'll make more revenue. That's why I think Marvel Animation is a really good marketing scheme for Marvel. Not that they need it. I mean, they make billions on billions per year, but they don't need it. But as I said, you better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. But like, as I said, Marvel Animation is way too niche, and I think that's a tiny problem, and that will only last for so long. I think if you get to the end of Season 2, Season 3, I think it will start to become too niche. That's the same, I think that's why What If Season 3 concluded the whole show, because it did get very niche at some point. As I said earlier, people are thinking that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is an alternate universe. I don't think it is. I think this is, I mean, don't get me wrong, it definitely could be, but I think Marvel Animation is purely for entertainment purposes and nothing else, and I think it needs to stay that way. I don't think they need to add everything straight into the MCU. I mean, they've got the Thunderbolts, and they're trying to add them into Avengers Doomsday. I don't really know what they're going to do there. I mean, you've got people, I mean, the only person with powers, I think, is like Ghost. They're not going to have much like of a play against a man that is literally a god. It doesn't match. It doesn't make any sense. So that's why I think having different like personas in terms of type, that's why I think having different like segments is a very good idea, because it separates them a bit, and you have that avenue to like, oh, this is not going to really link, so we'll change it. That's why Marvel Studios, Marvel Television, and Marvel Animation are three different things. Television and studios are the only two that might actually link, potentially in the far future. Marvel Animation, my little pinky, not going to do anything. That's why it needs to stay very away from the MCU for those who don't like the multiverse, or those that don't like the continuous links, because that does get tedious, and I completely understand that, especially with films that are releasing in 2025. One of the most common questions was, how is Marvel Animation going to like separate themselves from the MCU? Don't have any links. The best thing I can say, I mean, obviously, I doubt that Kevin Feige is going to watch this video. Yep. However, I think the way to do it is basically have all the characters you have released in the MCU in terms of Spider-Man, you can have in this show, but make sure there is no ties to the multiverse. Yes, you have Doctor Strange. He is literally the multiverse avatar. But you don't have to link everything, as I've just said. I know I've said this, and I know I'm milking it at this point, but you don't have to link everything to the MCU, and that's what will lead to Marvel Animation succeeding. Now, in saying that, there is, I think, 2 shows releasing soon: Eyes of Wakanda and Marvel Zombies, both of which are supposed to release this year. Both are animated. Marvel Zombies, I cannot wait for, but I do think that's a multiverse. That is to do with the multiverse, because if you remember the What If episode 5 of season 1, there was a Marvel Zombies teaser. Basically, it was a whole around zombies. And it was at that point they realized they should do a Marvel Zombies storyline. In this point, they actually might bring in Deadpool and some others. And at the end of season 3, they actually showed some of the characters that would star in it, such as Moonblade or Moon Knight / equal Blade. They've shown very little for this show, but I think it's going to be multiversal considering its links to What If, and Marvel Zombies is supposed to make a big part in Avengers Secret Wars. So I do think that kind of takes away from the argument I'm trying to say, but it depends on the genre. Eyes of Wakanda, I don't think will have any link to the MCU in one way, because it's like an anthology show. It's to do with Wakanda and nothing else. I don't think it needs to link to Wakanda. I know we've got Black Panther 3 coming out, but that doesn't necessarily mean it has to go straight to the MCU. It can it'd be a standalone. It'd be a very entertaining show in terms of anthology of Wakanda, but it doesn't have to be anything to do with the MCU. Same with your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But that also does leave the question, Marvel animation, yay or nay? As I said, I haven't really made a judgment, but what do you guys think about Marvel animation? Well, everyone, that is the end of today's video. I do hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and comment what else you'd like to see on the channel, and tell me what your opinions on Marvel animations, and tell me if you've seen the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. But without further ado, everyone, I hope you all have an amazing day as always, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Yeah.